Will everything be okay? According to a survey, the 2022 Talking Jesus report, this was the most popular question for the whole of the UK population. And really, this isn't too shocking. Just think about it. The COVID pandemic, the Ukraine war, our current political and economic unpredictability, the energy crisis, and the list could go on and on. This is a cultural moment of uncertainty, struggle, and waiting. A moment where we think, where is God? And will everything be okay? And this question is at the heart of the story of Anna in the Bible. She's an integral but often overlooked character in the Christmas story. We find her story in the Gospel of Luke after the baby Jesus is born and brought to the temple. She's a prophetess. She is a woman of strength and conviction and faith. And sadly, she is also a widow. So she is a woman who truly knows suffering. But really, her story doesn't begin at that first Christmas. No, in a sense, it begins much further back. She is from the tribe of Israel called Asher, which literally means blessing or happiness. The story of Asher, which you can read at the beginning of Genesis, is right at the cusp of the beginning of the biblical narrative. And their world was much like our own, full of uncertainty and deep brokenness, full of, will everything be okay? The entire biblical story follows this family, Anna's ancestors, as they struggle to be God's representatives in a world that is not okay. Anna's ancestors have some good moments, but ultimately the story does not end well. In fact, her family story ends with what we call 1st and 2nd Chronicles. It summarizes the entire story of Anna's family, beginning with Adam, the very first word in the book, and finishes with the most curious of notes, an incomplete sentence. Quote, "Let him go up," end quote. This is literally how it ends. Anna's story is a story in search of an ending, a fulfillment. Will everything be okay? One can imagine Anna pondering this over and over for years. You see, what her hope was, the thing that would make everything okay, was God fulfilling his promise to come personally, to be her people's king, that would reign in merciful rightness and rule with incorruptible justice. But she felt God's silence for so many years, until one day, when two brand new parents came to the temple holding their brand new baby. In a bundle of story fulfillment and joy, Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us. You see, Anna's Bible doesn't merely end, but merely pauses with "let him go up." The true ending is God came down. That's where God is in all our stories. And God has come down to make all things not just okay, but to make all things new.